Hello, welcome to CF 2.0 Geek Out. I'm Susan.
I'm Andrea.
And I'm Dan.
This is our first stream of the year, so we're gonna talk about
things, right? Confetti or something.
That was Dan's hands. Is the confetti?
Well, I was going to say, so basically we're really rusty. We have no idea what we're going to talk about, and we're still...
That's not true.
Dan, what would we do without you to just bring us all down and keep it real?
No, we're still recovering from too many Christmas cookies and too much time off, so we're still trying to wake up.
Okay, but that's not true. What we are doing today is we're going to go through basically 3 or 4 different things. First, we're going to give kind of like, say hello if you're here with us. There we go. I got comments pulled up now. Happy 2023, y'all, is what Madison has to say. Okay, we're going to go through state of ClickFunnels as we see it today. I don't know that a whole lot has changed since the last time we did a video like this, though. I'm just going to give you that little heads up right then. A few things. What's the other things we're talking about? Oh, what's coming up in 2023, kind of our plans for the kind of foreseeable future of our content for you guys. And then we have a little bit of an announcement regarding one of our offers. And Dan, we're saving best for last today. Dan's got some cool stuff to show us that he's been working on for 2.0 courses to make some improvements. I know we all hate that word, improvements, but they needed to be done. Awesome. So Dan's going to show us some code he's written for 2.0 courses. So, Andrea, do you want to kick us off with the state of the union, state of ClickFunnels?
Yeah, it's funny. You're right. Like, it hasn't changed, but what happened from the last time that we went live and talked about it to now, for me, I feel like I've been on quite the emotional roller coaster over the past, it's been about 3 weeks, right? So what's happened with me is probably in like week 1.5 of the break, I started getting a lot of clients that, because now we're at the point where if you didn't get the package deal where 1.0 and 2.0 are included, you're starting to get double charged. So this has begun, right? So they're like, oh my gosh, I got hit with a 2.0 bill and a 1.0 bill, right? Because again, they didn't do the package. They're paying for both platforms. And so they're like very heavy handed now in terms of like, you're either going to really have to like stop 1.0 and like put it in maintenance mode, you know what I mean? To only have 1 bill, or you're going to have to pay 2. So I'd have some really tough conversations with a couple clients who I very much value, and I still believe in 2.0, but I couldn't in good conscience say, is it worth $297, right? We're not moving out of active campaign yet. You don't need the $297 plan. You're not taking advantage of any of the other things, right? Like, nor would I ever advise that. So most of my clients are on 97 plans and like the $15 a month active campaign, or, more depending on how many contacts they have, right? So like they're at about a $150 to a $250 spend on average, you know what I mean? In terms of like the tech stack. So we had to have some really tough conversations about like, I have to make a decision. Like, do I go to 2.0 and just bite the bullet in 297, but still pay for active campaign? Or do I stay with 1.0, drop my 2.0 and just wait for them to figure it out, And so with a couple of these clients that I had the conversation with, I'm like, there's too many unknowns, especially with the membership builds that we've done with you. I can't even bring those over yet. Like, I have to keep you in 1.0 and active campaign right now, if that's the decision on the table. And so anyway, so that kind of got me really a little bit discouraged, right? Because I'm like, man, I was like, when is 2.0 going to be ready? When am I going to feel good about recommending it? And I had some really good conversations with you, Susan, and with Nicole, my funnel builder on my team. And basically it was like, am I just like so kind of built up of all the bugs, right, that I can't see the gem yet in 2.0 and all the fixes that they've done? Because I know that the domain is significantly better. I know that they've made a ton of improvements, right? In the day-to-day of getting in there, I still get annoyed every time, with the bugs and like the just the instability of the builder, right? But anyway, I'm grateful for those conversations that I had with you and Nicole, because you guys are like, no, it's actually not that bad. I'm like, gosh, is my filter just so it's like I'm a coffee snob, right? So it's like, and Starbucks isn't even great coffee, but it's like the best in terms of like the quick options, right? Anyway, but I'm like, am I just such a snob in terms of what I think it needs to be doing? You know what I mean? And so anyway, it got me to like relook at it with a new light. So lost customers off of 2.0. I'm sure they'll come back when it's ready, but right now, and then not really having a really good solution because I'm not moving away from active campaign yet and the price point and all that stuff. But then like coming all the way back up emotionally to be like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. And then just yesterday, we did another funnel hub and a build service, and they paid and everything was great. It hit my Stripe right away. Everything was great, right? And I was able to like use this app and do the marketing and get the contact to active campaign and trigger off our amazing email sequence. So like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. So like, anyway, so I feel like I've been on this giant roller coaster of emotions with 2.0 to be like, I want to love you, but I don't. And like the price point and the functionality are the two things that are like, oh. So anyway, I think I'm back. I'm back in the saddle. I'm still a supporter. I'm still on the gravy train. I still can't fully endorse it. And I still have clients that are going to stay in 1.0 probably for another year and active campaign. So that's been my journey.
It's a lot. It's quite the journey.
I
know. We're going to move over to Dan in a second, but I just realized something that is probably confusing a lot of you watching right now. And there's a story behind it. So the caption on our live stream right now is incorrect. I apologize. That's like one of the things that's coming up. We had a little bit of a mishap this morning. We didn't really know if we were going to be able to go live with what we are going live with today. And so that was our backup plan. It's writing sales copy with AI. It's on all of our streams right now. So I'm going to go and I'm going to edit those.
we can still do that, or certainly tease it, but
we'll tease it. But just real quick while you're here, guys, we're going over opinions of ClickFunnels right now, what's coming up, and Dan's got some code stuff for courses that we're going to show at the end. Okay, that's where we're at. All right, Dan, your thoughts on ClickFunnels right now?
Well, I was going to say what we're gonna show at the end is a little bit of what I was going to show today, because of one of the issues that ClickFunnels has definitely been experiencing in the last week or so is actually upline problems. Last week or earlier this week, I guess, anytime you went into any of your pages, the images would not load. All you would get is like the alt text or something like that, if you even had the alt text set. And it was not necessarily a ClickFunnels issue. It was somebody up higher than them, that, hosting account or whatever it was. And I suspect that that's the same kind of thing that we're dealing with today, and why I can't do the presentation I wanted to give, and also the reason why we're having issues with universal sections and stuff. So that's an ongoing problem, whereas you go in there and you expect to see your universal section and you basically get an error message. Or in this case here today, it was going to be course sidebar sections. Last night and even earlier today, I was working in there. It was working just fine. All of a sudden, we get ready for the presentation, and the course sidebar section is now, or the course sidebar element now, is not showing on the screen, which is very difficult to show somebody how to use it and work with it when it's not on the screen. So we decided we're going to scrap that. We're going to show some of the end result and a couple other things, and then do more on it in the coming weeks. But it's ongoing technical issues more than anything else. I think the team is working very hard. They are moving forward. They are getting everything they can possibly build, but there are so many moving parts at so many different levels that they're just running into all kinds of technical issues. And that's just where we're at right now. I think, again, the domains seem to be working in most cases, but not in all still. The DKIM issue seems to have been cleared up. A lot of other things, Payment AI, I think seems to be working better. I still yet to set up an account, but I haven't attempted it either. I do have to do that probably this next week. So yeah, there's still a lot of issues. And if in the case of what Andrea was talking about, where people are getting double billed, I think they still have the $2,000 offer, maybe it's $2,500 offer, which for the Funnel Builder program, where you're going to get the 1.0, you're going to get the 2.0, and you're going to get all the Funnel Builder training. And so it's still without a doubt the best pricing out there if somebody wants to jump in on that.
Okay.
Right.
So,
I still think that it's worth it to buy the program, right, with both 1.0 and 2.0. I still think that's the best program out there right now to buy. But yeah,
without a doubt, I
we
forget how
have
much money we figure you save, but it's a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have a question right now from someone watching on YouTube. The Rascal Photographer is asking, are we ever going to be able to move funnels from 1.0 to 2.0? And I think that we don't know what ClickFunnels has planned. At least I don't, unless someone else here has inside information. But I don't know if ClickFunnels plans to release a tool that will do that. But there are ones that exist out there right now, and we have reviewed one of them. I'll drop the link into YouTube if I can.
Right. There's a second
where
one
we
that's
reviewed it.
There's a second one from a private individual that's possibly coming out in the next couple of weeks. But also, I was on the ClickFunnels, what is it, the page where you can put in feature requests. And I saw this morning that transfer from 1.0 to 2.0, it was marked as, I think it said pending.
Oh, that means it's ready for like a code branch, usually in dev world. Or it's either on considering requirements, one of the two.
Yeah, I could pull it up and just see what it said in there. Feedback.
Okay. I'm just going to quickly say my thoughts on the state of ClickFunnels. I think that I kind of just echo everything Andrea and Dan said. I'm in there. I've been moving a lot of our Geek Out Academy stuff has been in 1.0, and I've been migrating it over to 2.0 manually this week and getting all the order forms set up and products set up. I've got a functioning workflow, and everything seems to be working really, really great. The only issue is that I did just set up a domain yesterday, and I moved it from 1.0 to 2.0. And it seems to be that there is a maybe bit of an issue with doing that. I've had the issue pop up with clients too, moving a domain from 1.0 to 2.0, in that the without the subdomain, so like without the www, when you're trying to go to that URL, it's redirecting to like the ClickFunnels homepage. So that's the only thing that I'm dealing with right now. But with the www, it works fine. The email is working. And so Payments AI is all set up. Like with our Geek Out stuff, we're trying to go all in on what 2.0 has to offer us. And so everything seems to be going well with that. We got a cat in the background.
So the both of you have said that you got your Payment AI set up, right?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as you know, it's working, and because you said you had the Geek Out order form also up and running, and that also appears to be working fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It took me a while. Like it was not easy.
Getting Payments AI set up.
Andrea had a bit of a tough time. I've set it up twice now, and I have not had as tough of a time.
I've heard
all of the things, Andrea, that you said you were bringing up with like, oh, they were asking me for all these things. They haven't asked me any of that stuff. So
I don't know. And I think part of it was that I uploaded I think maybe this is my theory, is I uploaded all three of the things they asked for at different times. And I think it like set off a red flag or something. And so then it was almost like getting audited. You know what I mean? Because that's what it felt like. It was like they were like auditing, like, are you a legitimate LLC that I want to do business with, is what the whole process felt like.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe the lesson learned is try to just have all of that stuff ready and then upload all of it all at the same time.
Now, do they give you a list of what they're looking for ahead of time?
On the upload page, they do, and then you can like always come back to it.
Okay.
You can skip it, and then you can even collect payments before your account gets verified. You just won't get your money until it gets verified.
You gotta wait a couple weeks.
Yeah. So, okay, we have a few more requests and questions that came in from the Rascal Photographer on YouTube. I just want to let you know, I'm going to come back into the comments of the YouTube video where your questions are. I'm going to come and answer those so that we can get through what we are having prepared today. But I have answers for all the things you're asking.
Yes. Awesome.
There is a way to merge your 1.0 and 2.0. It's actually, if you just go to your dashboard of 2.0 and scroll all the way to the bottom, I think that's where there's like a big box that says merge your accounts. I just saw it pop up.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong though, Susan, I think just to make sure, my understanding of what happens when you do that is that your 1.0 goes on maintenance mode. So like you can't build in there anymore. You can't do anything there. Like you're going over to 2.0. That's my understanding of what happens when you do that.
They actually have it.
I don't think that's true. I think originally they
hold on. Everybody be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
Tell us.
They have it on the page now, so we don't have to speculate. Okay. If you are on the dashboard, scroll all the way down to this box here, and it says you can enable your ClickFunnels Classic to maintenance mode. And here is what maintenance mode means. You can edit existing things. You cannot create new things.
Got it. Okay.
Just keep that in mind before you put it into maintenance mode. And
so the Rascal Photographer, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
I think the other question though is just to not get charged. If you signed up for the annual plan, Rascal Photographer, then you need to just contact support. People are getting charged and they shouldn't be. You just need to contact support, and they'll make it right. But if you're paying monthly, you're going to continue to pay monthly for both of them. So you'll just pay less when you go into maintenance mode. Does it say that right here? It's active, but you can't. I don't know if it's like a lesser payment per month. It's not like no payment, right? It's just lesser.
Yeah, I've heard numbers in the teens being thrown out there, but I've never actually seen anything on it.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'll come and drop that link that you're asking for too. Come and join our Geek Out group on Facebook. We have all of our videos here. And then go to geekoutacademy.com/join. And you can join us there. And we have a lot more in-depth videos there. So hopefully that answers those questions. All right. Moving on. What's coming up this, I don't know, probably Q1. I don't think that we planned out too far ahead. But
we barely planned out today.
Actually, Andrea and I did plan out some stuff. But okay, so what we do, in case you guys are new and this is the first time you're watching us, every Friday we go live, right? That's what we're doing right now. But every Thursday we have what's called Geek Camp. And Geek Camps, we stream them live into our Facebook community, CF 2.0 Geek Out. And they're up for a few days, and then we take them down. And then the only way that you can get to them, to view them, is by being in our Geek Out Academy. So every week we record a new thing. And in our style of training, these aren't like step-by-step how-to videos. We dive deep. We show you like, this is what we're using. This is how we're using it. Here's the problems we're running into. We try to show as much in depth so that like you can walk away and go and use it and implement it yourself. But we nerd out on it. It's not a step-by-step checklist of how to do it. It is come and like dive deep and geek out on this thing with us. So we have our plans for Geek Camps coming up next week. Yesterday we did a group track social CRM. We didn't get through everything. So yesterday was part 1. You can watch it in the group up until Monday. And then next Thursday, we're going to finish that up with a part 2 of that. Andrea's got some awesome stuff to share. So that's next week. Then we'll also have, let me actually just share my screen because this is our awesome Geek Stack.
You guys are going to be so in love with this Geek Stack by the time that you're done. Like this is the burning bush. We're all dancing around.
Some of you might be overwhelmed by this, but we promise that it'll all make sense as we bring things together. This is essentially all of the tools that we use. Not all of our clients, we make them use all of these things, but this is our, like, if we needed to use something for, if we want to use, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, if we wanted an affiliate system set up for our client, this is our weapon of choice. If we want to set up, webinars for our client, this is our weapon of choice, right? Or these are the options that we have on our plate that we go to. So our Geek camps are going to be surrounding this. Now, what does this have to do with ClickFunnels? Well, ClickFunnels is like the foundation. ClickFunnels is what makes a lot of this happen. You can see ClickFunnels pops up many times on this stack. And these are extra integrations that we use the heart of what we are trying to accomplish is an amazing customer experience for our clients' customers, but also something that they can easily manage, automate, and not be totally overwhelmed and over their head in having to manage things and deal with tech. Like, these things work well together. It makes lives easier and it gives a great customer experience. What else do you want to say about this, Andrea, before I move into our plans?
I would say, I think you hit it on the head. Yeah. What would be interesting too is, like, I think we have a very set of criteria, right? When we're analyzing software, if it makes it in or doesn't make it in, then we have kind of like this secondary tier, because we're always analyzing software. I love it. Like, I pretty much every day, at least once a day, I get have you heard of this? And I love those messages, because then it's like, oh, I can understand the lay of the land, right? And there's always ones in the wing. And so what we thought in terms of giving you guys the most amount of value is, because we nerd out on this stuff all the time, or geek out on this stuff all the time, we can tell you about like what we've heard, what we like, what we don't like, why we like it, why we don't like it, pros and cons. And so wanting it just to be a resource for all of you guys in terms of, this is our, like Susan said, our weapons of choice, what we recommend, but we can also speak in pretty big depth about the other alternatives out there and pros and cons of those.
Yeah. So we've covered a lot in ClickFunnels 2.0. We openly admit our Geek camps revolving around ClickFunnels 2.0 have been a little bit messy, but that's because ClickFunnels 2.0 is a little bit messy right now. So while we kind of feel like we've covered what there is to cover at this point with ClickFunnels 2.0, that we're going to start moving into covering these other software that we like to use along with it. So we covered half of group track stuff yesterday. We're going to start moving into other things here. So I think maybe shortly after, maybe in 2 weeks from now, we'll start looking at AI stuff. AI is like all a buzz right now because ChatGPT came out. And we're going to just show like, what are the possibilities? Where we've got Jasper is another AI content generator. We've got it popping up a few times because Andrea and I've been using it for years before all this hype and buzz about AI popped up in the last month. So we are going to cover things like that. How do we integrate Zoom into our system so that it's not just like, how to use Zoom? Like, you can go and look up videos on YouTube or on their website if you want to learn how to use Zoom. But how are we using Zoom? How are we using these tools in this whole ecosystem that we create for our clients? So that's just kind of what we're going to get, an organized calendar. We're going to set dates. You guys can always go to, I'm on the wrong tab, CF 2.0 geekout.com/events. And this is going to be where you're going to be able to see like the agenda. We only have our Geek Out Lives right here because we got to get our new Geek Camps added. But you'll be able to see like each week what we're going to be doing. So you can attend them all or pick and choose what you want to come and attend. Like I said, there's no one that uses all of these. It's just our menu of options that we like to keep our eye on. Mm-hmm. Anything else about that?
Well, what I would add is that we got to remember that ClickFunnels 2.0 is in its infancy. And I had to have a conversation with someone the other day about, they had built out an order form in 2.0 and they wanted to be able to put coupon codes into it. Well, there is a discount, or what is it? I forget what it says exactly inside of 2.0, but it makes you believe that they will have a coupon code, promo code, whatever you want to call it, thing going forward at some point. But it doesn't exist yet. And so the conversation I was having with this person is basically, it's like, this thing is so new that no one's had the ability, including Jamie Smith for the most part, have not had the ability to be able to create the other additional add-ons and things that need to go in there. All the stuff that we built for 1.0 memberships is not applicable to 2.0. So all of that has to be completely rebuilt for 2.0 if it's even possible. And it just is all going to take time. And the other problem is, it's not really a problem, is that we don't know what the final product is going to look like for 2.0. Right now, we know what 1.0 looks like, and so we can build an add-on, we can build some other functionality into it. Whereas with 2.0, you might spend a week building something, and then next week you find out that they turned on that function. And you just wasted a bunch of time. So, and we know supposedly that at some point there's going to be AI integration, there's going to be Zapier integration, there's going to be all kinds of other integrations in here. And so, as you guys talk about all these other tools, all of those tools and how they're going to function with 2.0 are going to evolve over time. And so by getting in here now and starting to play with it, starting to learn it, starting to write code at the most basic levels, we're hitting the ground running. And yeah, we're tripping and we're falling down. And you know, how many times does a baby fall down on his butt before it finally learns how to walk? Well, that's where we are right now. And occasionally the baby falls down and whacks himself in the head too. And that's where we are right now too. And so yeah, there's some bumps and glitches along the way, but everything is going to evolve together, that in a year or two, I think this is just going to be a monster. You're going to be able to do everything with this software, but there's going to be a bunch of growing pains. So with this individual, we actually had to downgrade him from 2.0 back to 1.0 so that he could use Jamie's promo code.
Yeah.
So I'm having to
you do have 1.0 and you do need to promo Jamie's the promo. Even the free version is really awesome, but the VIP is even better. Like, it's amazing on what you can do with that.
I've had an account with Jamie forever, and so we're having to rebuild it in that. And the simple thing is Jamie hasn't built it for 1 or 2.0 yet, at least that I know of. And partly it might be because he knows that ClickFunnels is going to eventually build it themselves.
Yeah.
So why waste your time?
Yeah.
The guy's launching tomorrow, so we didn't have a choice.
Just in case anyone missed what Dan's talking about with Jamie Smith, it's cfprotools.com. It's a bunch of add-ons that you can integrate into ClickFunnels Classic, ClickFunnels 1.0, that give you a lot of cool functionality. So go check that out.
And there's a whole host of free ones. And there's a whole host of free widgets that he has available, which is definitely worth checking out. And then you can also subscribe to get a whole bunch of amazing ones, additional amazing ones for, I think right now it's $39 a month. And
so affordable.
Yeah,
I paid I feel like I paid like $700 to get access to that at one point.
Yeah, like, it's awesome. I mean, and as an agency, I obviously treat this with your own discretion, but like, you can have 10 domains. So I do have at least 50% of my domains are part of my client, contracts like that. I just take it on and I do all their domains for them for my Pro Tools. So it is pretty awesome.
One thing about what Dan was saying about how ClickFunnels is in its infancy, we're all kind of just tripping along, learning it. Imagine if we weren't doing this right now. Imagine if you were not here watching our videos and being in the community, and you waited until a year or two from now. You're like, I'm just going to sit back. I'm just going to wait until I hear that it's good, like it's stable and more people are using it, and then the buzz picks back up. Like, imagine if you waited, you're going to be starting to learn it at that point. Instead, if you're like us and you're just playing with it right now, launching things here and there, you're going to stay on top of it. It's a lot easier to learn the things as they are getting released and coming out than it is to come in brand new a year from now when phase 2 has launched and there's so much to learn. It can be done. That's what we're going to be here for. And that's what Geek Out Academy is going to be here for, is so you can learn these things little by little. But if you're here, I think you're in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Even though it might hurt a little bit. And you're like, I don't know, 1.0 or 2.0 or wherever you're coming from. Our recommendation still stands today, just to wrap that all up. If your livelihood depends on it, stick with 1.0 or whatever else you're using right now. And if you have the room and the patience to trip along with ClickFunnels right now, and you're okay with some things going awry, you're okay with your sidebar not loading one day, and it's like not the end of the world, then jump into 2.0 and start to do things in there as well. If you can afford to do both, do both. We love the annual plan because now we're not paying anything, and we have the awesome support.
If you look at CF Pro Tools, I mean, Jamie's been building those add-ons for 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. And the same thing with what we do with 1.0 membership sites. I've been building that stuff since 2017. And just, build a little bit on top of a little bit on top of a little bit. And 2.0 is going to be the same way. A year or two from now, we may be doing some really killer stuff in 2.0, but we got to let the baby grow up a little bit here and fix a few things along the way and learn and how to make it work.
Yeah. And in doing all of this, I was just gonna say one more thing, Andrea, in doing all of this, because we're in there now and we're fumbling with it, we're learning so that later when it is stable, later when they have released more things, we're like at a whole nother level than people that are just coming in, and we are going to be able to use it a lot more effectively than people that are just now coming in. They got to get all caught up before they can start even to think of using it in ways that we're going to be using it.
Yeah. Yep. And in true, so I'll just say one more thing and then I'll have to go because all of my amazing clients are, they're excited for the new year and I love it. But the one thing I will say, what Dan's going to share after I peel off, is that on that same note of the baby growing up. So what Dan is about to show you very much reminds me of when we were first starting our 1.0 journey into membership areas and what we were going to do, right? He just starts tinkering, and it's almost like he's going up to the mountaintop and he's pulling out these ugly, muddy rocks, right? And he's like, guys, this is so awesome. And he's like dusting it off, like showing us the different angles. And we're starting to be like, I think I see it. I think I can do something. Maybe it's looking awesome, right? But then what ends up happening is he'll be like, no, just I'll show you. So go back up to the mountain again and it'll come off. It's like it's like a little sparkle. It's like starting to come through the mud. You know what I mean? And it's like, he's like, look, it's right here. And we're like, oh, I think he's found gold in them hills. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels. So what you're about to see today, I feel like it gets me excited because I'm like, this is the exact same way that we were able to get to 1.0, bending it to our will, making amazing membership sites. So I just have to share that. As you were sharing, Dan, this morning, that's the metaphor and the visual that came into my head. Get you a gold pick or something. I don't know.
I'm now the prospector, huh?
It's a great metaphor.
Yes.
I like my baby metaphor.
All right. Awesome. All right. But all right. Thank you guys so much. I'm so sorry I have to peel off, but look forward to seeing the rest and enjoy Dan's amazing presentation. Bye, guys.
Bye, Andrea. Okay. I think so before we get into Dan's stuff, give me one more minute. We have to talk about Geek Out Academy real quick. So for those of you who don't know what Geek Out Academy is, I'm going to pull it up. And this is what we have created basically to help us be able to support this community. When Andrea and I started this community over a year ago, it was just us wanting to have a place, an excuse to record, just have conversations. And we decided to record them and put them into this group. And it grew. And we're so grateful for the growth that it has seen over the last even 4 months, to be honest. But it has turned into this thing that this is a full community that we have to support. And we wanted to find a way to be able to do that. So we created Geek Out Academy. We first launched it when ClickFunnels 2.0 officially launched. And there was the huge buzz around getting in on the annual plan and buying into the funnel builders course and all that stuff. And a lot of you guys came in through that. So we have a lot of you in, it's not working. Hold on. geekoutacademy.com/join. With the www, guys, it's domain thing. Geek Out Academy.
There are still some issues with the domain.
There we go. There it is. Okay.
Hey.
So So we decided let me pull it down for just a second. We decided to make Geek Out Academy. We are giving it away to people who join through our affiliate link, who join ClickFunnels through our affiliate link. So if you're like, I haven't even bought ClickFunnels yet, I don't even have 2.0, I don't even have 1.0. Cool. There's a link in the group descriptions. You can go join wherever you're watching this from. Well, maybe not on YouTube. I'll make sure it's in the description on YouTube too. You can go and join ClickFunnels through our affiliate link. You get automatic access into Geek Out Academy. All of the geek camps that we were talking about earlier, and we were talking about how we're making geek camps, we're making videos for all of these different apps and software that we use. All of that training is inside of Geek Out Academy. It's a little bit raw right now is how I would describe it. And again, that's because we've been doing a lot of ClickFunnels 2.0 stuff. We've been coming across a lot of errors, a lot of glitches. So it's been a little bit tricky to navigate that. But this is basically going to be, weekly. We do these weekly. You're going to get training on a different software in depth of how we are using it, active use cases. And which tab are we on? This one here. So these are all the ones that we've done so far. And these are what are currently available, where we've got all the ones that we just announced coming up. We're going to have other exclusive trainings and workshops. We've got, we're creating templates that we can share to your accounts. We do have hot seats for our members. I'm going to be starting up co-working sessions. This is like one of my favorite things to do is I just go live on Zoom in our Geek Out Academy community, and I'm just working on stuff, and we can just all kind of work together. You can jump on, see what I'm working on. We can chit chat. Like, I just love doing that. And then of course we have like our private Facebook group. So the announcement that we're making today, because we've already talked a lot about Geek Out Academy. We've pitched this. A lot of you already know about this. This is our current pricing. This is not going to be our current our pricing moving forward. Dan, probably, would you say maybe another week or so that we're going to keep this pricing?
I don't know. But maybe to the end of the month if you're really generous.
Maybe end of the month if we're feeling generous. But the point is, we are raising the prices, and we are no longer going to offer a 6-month plan. We're going to change that to an annual plan. So if you're like, oh, I kind of want that 6-month plan, now's the time to jump in. This is a 2.0 order form. So if you're also curious just about what a 2.0 order form looks like, you can come check it out. But it's got this drop down. You can choose which plan you want. And then you move forward through. I'm going to not click next because I think my personal information is on the next thing for me testing it. But you just click through. It's going to ask you to put in your contact information. It's going to ask to put in your payment information. And then it's going to take you to the next page. You'll get an email of how to join. It's going to give you a link to go join our Geek Out Zone, which I got to log into. I'm in it right here. Just don't click away. This is one of the courses that we have in Geek Out Academy right now. This is like how to get your ClickFunnels 2.0 account set up. And we're adding things to this. This is just what we have ready so far. But we've got like installing your theme, prepping your pages. You're getting these things called theme pages, and you need to do a little bit of work to them to get them ready so that it's a lot easier. How to use the style guide, how to use digital assets. We're going to have Dan's videos in here about how to set up your domains. So this is just all about how to get your account set up. Then imagine all the other content that we've been recording, all these other, where is it? I navigated away from it. The themes, we go through memberships for 1.0, we go through memberships for 2.0, CRM, active campaign, blogs, all these things that we're showing how to use. So that's my little spiel. If you want to get in at the current pricing, do it this week because we're changing it in the month of January. It's going to be higher. We're only going to offer an annual or a monthly. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you have questions, reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer. You can message us. We're very responsive in Messenger. And I'll say that for me and Andrea. I don't know about Dan. Don't message Dan unless he specifically invites you to.
No,
Dan's a busy guy.
If you want the best way to reach me is through Facebook. I will tell you that. I look at my email about once a week, and so Facebook is pretty much the only way to reach me. But
I think that's true for all three of us. Just FYI for everybody, if you want to reach me, Andrea, or Dan, Facebook is the way to do it. All of us are not great at checking our email. Just saying that right now.
Facebook is just open all the time.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's simply the easiest thing to be able to do. Do you want me to go into then what we were going to present today that I can only show parts of? Well, Susan was showing right there on the left-hand side on that one page was a, what do they call it? Now I'm drawing a blank. Sidebar element. Yeah, course sidebar element. Now, this is the version after we did a little bit of code to it to clean it up. And in fact, let me see here if I can pull up a version.
While you're trying to pull up an old version, I can kind of describe what it is. Yeah, so in the old version, like, okay, let's not say old. Let's say out of the box. Currently, if you guys go in and you start building these pages in 2.0, what you're going to get is a sidebar that looks like this. But when you click up here, so this is like your module. Then we have submodules. And then these are the lessons. The modules and the submodules, if you click on them, they actually navigate you to the module pages, which I find very annoying because I have not found a good use of those pages. I don't want them to navigate somewhere else. I just want them to open. I just want it to open and expand and collapse. The only way you could get them to do that was by actually clicking on this little icon, right, Dan? Like you could get them to expand and collapse, but you had to be exactly right on the little caret icon. And if you clicked on the name, it would take you to a totally different place. And then was there something else about the out of the box version that I'm forgetting?
Well, basically, yeah. So now if she clicks on the blue bar at the top anywhere, it will just open and close all of the content within it, because that is basically the outer level module. Then inside of there, she's got 4, 5, 6 different sub modules in there. And then inside of each sub module, there are lessons. And so as she clicks now on one of the sub modules, and there's something I need to fix in there, because if you notice the little icons, the little carrots point sideways instead of pointing up and down. So that is something I realized yesterday. That comes straight out of the box for ClickFunnels. And I'm just like, okay, well, I just need to rotate those icons and so they're more consistent.
But so what we did that's funny.
Is instead of clicking, instead of going off to a module page, when you click on the text for any of the module headers, now it just opens up with a slow scroll, just opens and closes those lessons below it. And then also with the lessons below it, I took out the icons, and I also made it so that anywhere you click within the box, so anywhere where it's blue there now, that you click in there, it will take you to that next page. And when it takes you to that next page, it will automatically open up that section, that module that you are in, and it will close all the rest of the modules. And then with
I was just going to say, that was the other thing, is that out of the box, the sidebar, everything loads expanded. So everything. So this would look like this. Anytime someone's like coming to this course, everything's open, which is really overwhelming. And even if you clicked on a lesson, everything would just stay open. And so now with Dan's code, if you click on a lesson, it collapses everything else. It collapses all the other modules and submodules, and it's just showing. I'm going to go in. One thing I have not done is change my colors. You can see that this one, when it's selected, not hovering, but just it's kind of that gray color. I can make that a different color really easily, and I haven't done that yet. But you can make it a different color and make it really obvious that people will know, like, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm on this lesson.
And I was going to show all that today, but where the problem is, again, and let me share my screen now.
Sure. Tell me when you're ready, and I'll add it in there.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it, and I'll figure out which page I was
Okay.
on eventually
Okay.
here. Okay. So what I was going to say is, so today we were going to show how to work inside of the sidebar module, how to change the colors, do all that kind of stuff. But what we're finding is there's an issue with getting into the templates. And then once we do get inside of the templates, what happens is the actual element itself that was supposed to be right here, it's still there, and we can go to the settings, you can see it. But if I make any changes over here, you're not going to see them over here. So we figured let's not, do that part of this today, because it's not going to make any sense to anybody. But what we can do is, so here is the module, so the sidebar element straight out of the box. So as Susan said, if I click where it says module here, what it does is it actually takes me to the module template page. So in order to get back there, then I have to click on one of the lessons. And this, again, is straight out of the box for ClickFunnels. In order to get that to close up, I have to click right there. And then also in here, these are these lessons. Okay, these are just lessons in here. So I must not have had much in here. No, so I have module 1. I must have this set. I must have that element set then to only be showing the current module, which again is a problem. If you turn that on, there's no ability to navigate to any of the other modules. So that's another issue right there. So there's a bunch of issues in there, and we did fix a lot of them. But let me just go back here. So here is the 2CCX. I wanted to show everybody this. And then if you go to the one for the 2CCX right here, I should say this is 2CCX. This is the customer center. If you go here, this is the what everybody wants. The problem is this thing here was 100% hard coded. Well, then Russell got the guys to build it into here now, and they refer to it as the Ascension. If I can jump back in there really quickly, they refer that to the Ascension versus the Classic. If we go to settings here, you can change that right here. So if you click on and put in the Ascension, then it gives you extra elements up here at the top, along with what we had below. So what I did first off is we, of course, fixed up the code so it was working like what Susan was showing you there. And then I started playing around the other day with the Ascension itself. So that would be essentially this part up here. But I also wanted to show you, here is the sidebar. I don't know why they stuck this up here at the top that's on Funnelology. This here is Rainmaker Proposals, which if you're in the Funnel Builder, what's the higher priced one? What do they call it? Funnel Builder certification program.
Certification.
Yeah, this was all done by Ben Moot. And from what everybody's saying, this is the most incredible over-the-top training there is, as far as essentially how to build an agency. But in here, what you're going to find is we're going to go back to the same problem that Susan was showing, which is if I click up here at the top on Welcome, it takes me to this page right here. So this is a module page, just laid out a little bit differently, but it is the same module page where you got our 4 lessons here, because inside of this module, there are just the 4 lessons. But inside of this module down here, sales process, there are 3 more sub-modules. And then inside of each one of them, you got a bunch of lessons. And in fact, here's another tier down of sub-modules. But so if I click on this module up here at the top, it takes me to a page that for the longest time I've been saying, I don't know what this page is or what it does. So remember, Susan, there were 5 different lesson pages or 5 different course pages. There was one of them that was called like courses modules, both plural.
Oh, right. Plural and not plural.
That's what this page is. So this here, when you go in and you set up what all of your, when you go in and set up your module templates, if you have a module and then you have sub modules inside of it, the upper modules, you need to use that other module template page which, like I said, is like something like courses, modules. And that was all part of my presentation, but unfortunately I can't show it to you now.
That's okay. So just so I'm understanding correctly, one of those is there's two different pages, one for when you click on a top level module and one for when you click on a sub module, and it was taking you to those pages.
What I think it is if you're clicking on a module that has lessons inside of it, you use the one that we've been using. If you have a module that has modules inside of it, then you use the one with the two plurals.
Yeah, that's confusing.
Yeah.
And here I am like, I don't think we need those pages at all.
Yeah, it's a little less confusing when you see the way I have it laid out, because I actually put the name on the screen of what each one was. But so here, if you click on this, it takes you to this page. Whereas what we did when we changed it out now is that when you click on this, all it's going to do, oh, I'm sorry, this is the bad version. Susan was showing the good version. When you click on this, it will just open and close the section. Same thing here, because this again is a module. If I click on this, it will bring me to the module page instead of just opening and closing the lessons here. So that's one of the tweaks that we've put in so far. And then, of course, if you click on a lesson, then it will take you to the lesson page. But I would guess if I click on this one here, which is a third level down, they have this one working properly. So this one up here at the top is the one that they don't have working properly. So now that I say that, I think the one where it's the plurals of both would only be used for the highest level module. Because this one is working right, and this is a sub-module of it, and this one is working right. So it'd only be for this highest level module here. And that may have something to do with how the new Ascension model works. And so, okay, so here's the classic model that I have fixed up. And so again, here we can click anywhere in here and it opens and closes stuff. And same thing here. And then if we go down and click on a lesson, it will close up everything, just show this. And then again, in here, we can come in and there's a whole bunch of different ways that we'll show you in a later lesson of how you can come in and adjust all the different colors and the font sizes, the widths. There's a million different ways to do this. And let me see if I can get into this element here right now, because so here again, you would see, if this was working properly, you would see a basic layout of what the module would look like down there. And as you come inside, you can come into your modules, you can change the background colors, whether it's selected or unselected, whether it's hovered, it can change all kinds of different stuff. But up here at the top is where you have the equivalent of what is here. So that's what we have up here at the top, is you can put in different elements up here at the top. Let me see if I can get to the navigation elements. So you can put in different elements up here at the top. And so I started thinking is like, well, okay, if we put in these different elements, why can't we put these in as if they are courses? And if we can put them in as courses, then we can link to what is down here below it. And let me see if I got this one set up, how I got this set up. Let me come back in here. Let me do this. Turn that back on. In fact, let me. All right. I got my cat just bugging me to death today. Now I hear your dog.
Yes, my dog has joined us.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's reload this page and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. I put in these two links up here at the top. And when I put these links in here, I said, when you click on this, take me to module, this very first module right there. Well, so with the B, you can click on the B and it will take you to the very first B module. So you could have 4, 5, 6 different top level courses in here, because remember, you get 3 depths on your modules. So you could make your top level module your course essentially, and then you still got 2 more levels of modules below it to be able to build out all the content inside of your course. So you could put 5, 6 different courses up here at the top. Now the problem is with this here, you can't, you put in 6 different courses, it's not going to fit across the screen like that. So if you go that route, you probably want to come in here and take out this element, and that's just as simple as putting in this, I do believe it's this line of code right there. If we put that in there, then we can take out this element if we want to. So now that element is gone. You have like 5 or 6 of these above, and whichever one you're clicked on, it will turn it blue. Well, then I said, well, okay, if we can do that, then let's do this instead. Let's just have it display just the one that we are currently in. And so if we do that, then we leave it in here, but it only shows the course essentially that we're currently inside of.
Yeah.
So we have that showing there now. And then I said, well, because I actually got this idea from this gal, Janet, who's in the Funnel Builder certification program. She said, I want to build a menu up here across the top with basically a bunch of buttons. And as you click on the buttons, it changes out what is over here on the left-hand side. And I said, okay, well, that would be cool too. So let's leave that there. Need to change a little bit of the CSS here because we need to put in the buttons. And what I found is that when I turn on this code right here, that it strips out the CSS for some reason. And I figured this out like last night. I was just like, okay, I don't have time to fix that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this element right up here at the top where you got the black part, and we're going to make that side by each up here. So again, imagine you had like 6 lessons or 6 courses stacked up here. Now we're going to make it 6 courses side by each across the top there. And so there, now we have it. And of course, we can make more changes. We can, fix up the CSS. We can make it look better. I mean, all of this we can make look a lot better. It's just more of a proof of concept at this point, playing around with it, just trying to see how we can get this stuff to work. And then as I click on module A1, again, it's going to change this out, and it's going to give me all of my A modules, all of my A lessons right here. So that's just some of the stuff that we've started playing around with a little bit inside of 2.0 for
it's awesome
for the stuff. And I wish I could have shown more today, but oh well.
That's okay, Carol.
Glitches.
I think what would make sense to me is have Dan make a more in-depth exclusive training on that setup and the code that he used to write it. And we give that to our Geek Out Academy members in some form or fashion that we can discuss. But I think we'll come back with Dan to Geek Out Academy. So if you want to figure out how to put that into your own courses, go to geekoutacademy.com/join, and you have to have the www in the URL. So don't forget that piece. I'll put the links into the comments of all the places.
And I would also say that any other feature requests that you have regarding 2.0, things you'd like to see in there that you know are going to require some sort of custom code, drop it in the comments below this video, unless you're on YouTube, because I'll never see them there. So go to Facebook and drop them below the video, because, it's, I got a million other projects to work on, but over time, I mean, this is the stuff I really like doing, is the writing the code and figuring the stuff out. So usually if somebody gives me an idea, I usually drop everything else I'm working on and I just build it real fast. And so that's pretty much how most all this got built. The whole thing with doing the, of course my cat's going to sit right there. You were so annoying. The whole thing with the, okay, get your butt off the camera. Thank you. I I just wonder why we have them in our house sometimes.
I know. Why do we have
why
them?
do people have animals? It's just amazing sometimes. No, I was gonna say, yeah, I was a guy in one of my groups that he was like, he didn't like the fact that everything opened up, all of the drop downs opened up, and I said, well, okay, let me figure it out. And it's realistically, it's like 2 lines of code in order to do it.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of how to do this because we've done so much of this in 1.0. That fixes like that, changes like that are, it is actually, I will admit, it is harder in 2.0 just because of the way the code is written. It is a little bit harder to get some of this stuff done, but it's still a lot of fun. It's a challenge, and we have to learn it. Like I was saying earlier, that's what this is all about now, is we have to learn this stuff so that a year or two from now, we're just that much further ahead of everyone and everything else.
Yep. Real quick, shout out to Tad. He's watching right now. He's saying please to getting you to come and share how to do that with the sidebar. Tad's in our Geek Out Academy. And also he had, Isaac. It might be Isaac on Tad. Isaac's being tagged. Okay. And then Tad also says they'd really like, one of their requests is they would like their quizzes to not pop up until the end of our videos. And I know we've talked about that a little bit, and I think maybe even Tad was in on that conversation. So I think that's something that is still being worked on, that ability, right, Dan?
To have a quiz pop up.
To have it timed based on video watch time.
Yeah, that's on my list of things to do here. That, or you could just you could use Voomly if you wanted to. That might, but actually I don't know if Voomly can make a quiz pop up. You can certainly make a link pop up on the video, but not have a quiz pop up. I've been told that the survey element is being worked on in 2.0, but who knows when we'll see it. There's a million other things being worked on too, so we'll see when that finally surfaces.
Yes. Okay. All right. I think that's all we have for today. That is a lot. Thanks for watching with us. If you just joined in at the end, make sure you watch at the beginning because we did go over a lot of things. And Tad says their quizzes have links. I don't know if that makes a difference to you, but I have you tagged in the comments, Dan, so you can go look at that later and ask him more. Okay. All right. That's it for this week. Next week, Geek Camp Thursday. I forgot what time it is. 10? Oh, we changed our time this week, so my times were all thrown off. But I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll put it up on our events page and we'll make an announcement in the group. But if you're watching on YouTube, come and join our group. I put the link in the comments. It's CF 2.0 Geek Out. And if you're in Dan's Ninja Hackers community, you can also come and join us in the Geek Out community where we have the Geek Camps. And Dan is involved in the Geek Out community. He is part of Geek Out Academy. So you kind of get Dan in both places if you're already following him in Ninja Hackers. 11 a.m. Mountain. Yep, Tad. Okay, so 10 a.m. Pacific. Okay, awesome. I was correct. Next week, we're going to finish up our group track CRM stuff. If you missed part 1 of that, it's still up. You can go watch it right now in the CF 2.0 Geek Out group. And it comes down Monday. If you're in Geek Out Academy, that you'll have it forever. So that's it. Thanks, Dan, for your time. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you guys next week.